Hey there, this is Jennie Potter, and welcome to the second season of Self-Sabotage No More, inspired by my newest book, Stuck No More. This season is all about helping you break the loop of being where you don't want to be, of breaking free from the cycle of saying, I'll do it tomorrow, only tomorrow never comes. If you're tired of feeling stuck, constantly putting off your goals, and ready to take real action towards the life you want, this podcast is for you. We'll explore practical strategies to overcome whatever loop you are stuck in and finally start achieving what you've been longing for. For more tools and resources like how-to videos and worksheets related to my books and this podcast, visit jenniepotter.com. Before we get started, I want to make sure you know I'm not trying to diagnose or cure any kind of emotional, physical, or psychological illness. If you feel like you're a danger to yourself or others, please seek help from a qualified professional. All right, let's jump in and continue along the journey to Stuck No More. This affirmation, we are stepping outside of the box. So we've been doing I am statements. You've been doing I am statements. You've been learning about I am statements and affirmations. And now we're going to be talking about affirmations. So I feel is the next step in the process. So if you do your I am statement, let's just say I am healthy. I am energetic. Let's use I am energetic. I am energetic. The next step would be to say I feel energetic. Notice how different those two statements are. They literally are speaking to something different. But when we feel something, we resonate at that level and we attract that to us. So we can say, I am energetic. Okay. We can also say, I feel energetic. And so you can use this with, I am a millionaire. I feel like a millionaire. I am in a loving relationship. I feel loved and in a loving relationship. Okay. So, and there isn't really a wrong way to do it. The goal here is to feel it. So if you have ever read Neville Goddard's book, The Feeling is the Secret, if you've never read it, definitely read it or listen to it. It's an amazing little book. And it really talks to and speaks to how powerful it is to feel things. And it can completely shift our reality when we are in the feeling of gratitude or in the feeling of abundance versus scarcity or in the feeling of lucky versus unlucky, happy versus sad. Just think about that statement for a moment. Think about how you feel when you're sad and what you attract to you. Okay. And then when you're happy. So a simple thing like the phone ringing, when you're happy, it's like, oh, who is it? When you're sad, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to get that. Okay. And so it's just, we approach life differently and we approach our goals differently and we attract to us something different. So it's really important to be aware of how you feel. And, in my book, Self-Sabotage No More, I dive into some of the reasons why we're constantly broadcasting certain feelings like sadness or unworthy or anger, irritation. But if you want to learn more about that, if you feel like you have emotional responses, you can absolutely grab my book, Self-Sabotage No More. But today we're going to talk about the stuff that we were learning or are learning in Stuck No More. We're going to help you get unstuck. So if you've been feeling stuck in a feeling, we're going to shift that. Maybe you're always feeling broke. Maybe you're always feeling lonely. Maybe you're always feeling not included or disrespected or messy or disorganized. How are you feeling is what's broadcasting, is what is attracting more of the experience. So if you're tired of being stuck in the same feeling or creating the same environment or surroundings or attracting the same experiences, then this is absolutely the episode for you. So I want to talk about fight or flight because when we're trying to create, it's harder when we're in fight or flight. And the truth is that most people are chronically in fight or flight. Some people had a trauma when they were younger and their adrenal glands just never stopped pumping out the cortisol. Some people are creating fight or flight every morning, having their coffee or their 3 cups of coffee or their energy drinks, they're actually creating their body to think that you're in fight or flight. So what is fight or flight? Fight or flight is miraculous design. Fight or flight is if you're a zebra. Okay, I'll tell you why I use zebra as an example. There is a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. And this book is, I'll just say, to sum up this book, it's an amazing book with lots of information, but it's a like more in-depth read and a little bit sciencey. But what you get from it is the core knowledge that if you are in fight or flight, it's harder to digest your food. Your metabolism slows right down. In fact, it stops. It's hard to remember things because you don't need your memory when you're being chased by a lion. So if you're a zebra and you sense a lion, your digestion shuts down, your memory shuts down, everything shuts down except for your ability to freeze or run as fast as possible. Your body becomes filled with adrenaline. And that's what we're doing accidentally in our day and age with coffee, with energy drinks, with doors slamming and cars honking and things moving fast, with horror movies, with the news, with social media. We are inundated constantly with stuff that creates fear. And our body responds as if it's being chased by a lion. Coffee, fight or flight, lion. Stress, fight or flight, lion. Paying the bills, fight or flight, lion. Scary movies, murder shows, fight or flight, lion. Okay. Lion, lion, lion. If you're watching the news, if you are stepping out of your comfort zone, if you're saying yes to things that scare you, lion, lion, lion. So it's not so much that we can avoid our body's response to the lion, but there are a few hacks that can help you get out of that fight or flight. Now, these are really important. These are actually sticking points. So these are affirmation sticking points, and I'm going to give you a few approaches how to deal with it when you're in fight or flight. Why am I even talking about fight or flight? I'm talking about fight or flight because there is a good time to talk to your subconscious, and it's not when we're in fight or flight. So back to the example, if you're getting chased by a lion or your body thinks it's being chased by a lion and you're trying to change your money mindset, sometimes there's going to be a complete non-compute when it comes to that conversation. So your conscious mind is like, we're abundant because you want to be abundant. You've got this I am statement. I am abundant. Okay. Subconscious is like, dude, we're running from a lion right now. We can't come to the phone. Please leave a message and we're going to ignore it because we're running from a lion right now. Okay. So we have to get the body out of the chronic fight or flight so that you could move into a different zone. This is a zone that you can reset your subconscious. And that's absolutely what we want to do if you're having feelings or you're feeling stuck in a certain environment, experience, wherever you're feeling stuck. We want to change how you're showing up. And the quickest way to do that is to change how you feel, because when you feel better, you act better, you do things that create a different experience. Okay. You also receive information in a different way, just like I just used that example of the phone ringing. When you're not in fight or flight, the phone doesn't stress you out. You're just like, oh, there's a phone call. Like literally, there were times in my life where the phone rang and I almost threw it across the room. I was so freaked out by it. Now, I'll tell you, I'm never super excited to answer the phone if I don't know who's calling. I'm still working on that, but I don't get the fear anymore. I just choose. Do I want to take a call from someone who I don't know who it is? I choose. But I used to get scared. I used to actually have a fight or flight response. In fact, I was always in fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, there's a few more things to know. It's not just about the fact that you can't reset your subconscious. It's also could be why if you've been trying to lose weight, you can't lose weight because your metabolism shuts down. What the heck are you going to do digesting food if you're running from a lion? It's just not priority. Your memory will suck if you are always in fight or flight. I've got a list of things, so I'm going to read them to you because all of these things will help you self-identify if you're in fight or flight. Now, I will always tell people, like, make sure to go to a doctor. The self-diagnosis, it's one thing, like the Google doctor, Google our symptoms and things like that. But most people will know, oh, this kind of makes sense. So I'm going to read you this list. And if you think that there's something medically or seriously wrong with you, go talk to a doctor. But let's just talk about the basics. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Just a quick note. I want to take a moment to let you know that I have additional free resources and links to my Facebook community available on my website at jenniepotter.com. Now let's get back to getting unstuck and creating the life you're dreaming of. So some of the experiences you might be experiencing if you're in chronic fight or flight or on and off in fight or flight are emotional numbness, forgetfulness, difficulty focusing, fatigue, hopelessness, no thirst, sense of shame, overwhelm, poor digestion, weight gain, difficulty sleeping, anxiety, jumpier. So like if a door slams, you're like, oh, but like, when you're not in fight or flight, you're like, oh, a door slammed. When you are in fight or flight, it's like a 9 out of 10 for stressful. When you're not in fight or flight, it's like a 0 or a 2 out of 10. Your hormones can be affected. So unbalanced hormones can be affected by fight or flight, fatigued adrenals, which also contributes to a whole bunch of health things, and then difficulty regulating your emotions. So those are just some of the things that happen when you're in fight or flight. And a lot of those things also have their own repercussions, like lack of sleep or fatigue or difficulty regulating emotions. Those are all going to contribute to other areas of your life as well. So don't worry, there's a few different ways to deal with fight or flight. And we're going to talk about those because our goal is to speak to our subconscious in a different way. Okay. So when you are in fight or flight mode or feel anxious, my favorite thing to do, if you're not, well, you can do this in public, but I usually would do this at home or in the gym. In fact, I always start my workouts with this exercise, which my husband's like already doing squats and I'm like lying on the floor with my legs up the wall. So this is called legs up the wall. And so literally you just lie with your butt against the wall and your legs straight up the wall. This is also good for your hamstrings. So yay, it will increase your metabolism and it will calm you down. It will kick you out of fight or flight mode. So this is a very relaxing position to be in. So I can't guarantee that it's going to kick you out of fight or flight mode. I don't know how long you've been in it, and I don't know what's going on with you, but it is said that doing this 2 to 3 times a day for 15 minutes is wonderful. So you can do this to calming music. You don't have to. You could be on your phone if you have to. If you can't, just lay there for 15. You could set your timer for 15 minutes and do it. But essentially, you're just lying on the floor with your butt against the wall and your legs up the wall. So I always have trouble describing this, but it's kind of like, imagine your legs are up the wall and you're lying on the floor like that. Okay. Again, good for your hamstrings and very good for your adrenals and your metabolism and your fight or flight situation. Okay. So the worst case scenario is that you stress your hamstrings. The best case scenario is you kick yourself out of fight or flight. You're more calm and better able to communicate with your subconscious, because we want our subconscious to start responding positively to our goals. I'm a published author. I'm a millionaire. I'm earning my new rank with ease. Whatever your goals are, just the goal here is that we can talk to our subconscious and the subconscious goes, oh, okay, we're millionaires. And it starts feeling more abundant. Okay. When you can't relax or you're trying to fall asleep, a very good breath to do. So this is affirmation sticking point number 2. So we're going to work on the sticking point of like when you feel anxious or you feel like you're in fight or flight. Maybe you can't do legs up the wall because you're at the grocery store. I am no stranger to panic attacks. to major anxiety. In fact, I had major anxiety, right up until a couple of years ago. I definitely had a lot of tools to deal with it. And I wish I'd had those tools sooner. But probably till I was 40-ish, I had some pretty major anxiety. And sometimes it would just hit me at the grocery store. So breath is a great way to deal with anxiety, whether you're in your office and about to reach out to someone and it makes you nervous, or maybe you just had a stressful conversation. But what you can do is you can breathe in for 4 seconds through your nose and then out for 8 seconds. Okay, so it's in for 4, out for 8. You can literally just do it with me right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, the awesome thing about this breath is it will also help you fall asleep. So if you want to fall asleep more quickly, or you have trouble falling asleep, or maybe you wake in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep, you can try this hack of in for 4, out for 8. Okay. And just do that a few times. Like I'd say like 5 to 10 times. It will help you relax. It will help you release that anxiety. Okay. And so that's affirmation sticking point number 2. And that is to help when you're anxious or you think you're in fight or flight. Affirmation sticking point number 3 is when you don't feel anything. Okay. So you've tried and you've tried, but you can't get yourself to feel the feeling of the affirmation you're doing. So you have no feeling to pull from. Like you're like, I'm a millionaire, but you just get a blank. You don't feel anything, or you feel a negative response. Definitely use the magnetic balloon to like release the response. But one way to drum up a feeling, create a feeling, shift a feeling, feel differently is to use music. So I would be very conscious around what music you're using. Okay. Like think about the words. There were years when I used to listen to the most music. And that's because I resonated with it. I felt depressed. And so I listened to this beautiful music, but when you listen to the words, it's just like so depressing. And no wonder I stayed stuck in feeling low. So if you're feeling stuck, what are you listening to? What are you listening to when you drive to work? Are you listening to the news? Because that's going to cause fight or flight. Are you listening to angry music? Are you listening to sad music, happy music? Are you listening to the radio? And is it a station that makes you feel like excited? Are you listening to personal growth? What are you listening to when you're walking, when you have quiet time? So just being aware is really important. Music can 100% change your mood. And it's also a great clue to how you're feeling. If "Don't Worry, Be Happy" comes on and you want to turn it off immediately, you probably are having a negative response because you aren't resonating at that "Don't Worry, Be Happy" song. So another affirmation sticking point is when you don't know how to feel that certain feeling, or you're having trouble evoking that certain feeling. So similar to the last one where we use music, except this time we're going to use something called totem memories. And your totem memories are memories that made you feel that way. So if we're talking about manifesting money or stuff, when was the last time that you felt really abundant? How did you feel when you got your first paycheck? What was a big win? Maybe you're trying to create the feeling of buying your dream house. How did you feel when you bought your first house or car or whatever? So drawing on a totem memory, and this is a good feeling memory. Okay. So my mentor and friend, Ray Higdon, who does so many trainings and just like changing, transforming hundreds of thousands of lives. And he uses totem memories. So he has these memories where, his kids are running towards him saying, "Daddy, Daddy." And just when he wants to feel good or he wants to shift his feeling, he pulls on his totem memories. So I would take a moment. You could even pause right now if you're not driving, pause this and just ask yourself, like, what are my abundant memories? What are my happy memories? What are my healthy relationship, joyful memories? What are my memories around feeling healthy. When did I feel healthy? When did I have energy? Okay, when did I sleep well? And how did I used to feel about sleeping well? Okay. An example of this is like I used to just fall asleep like that and wake up with energy. And then I went through a period where I couldn't fall asleep. And I used to lie there and I was like, man, this is hard. You know, so if I wanted to shift that back then and I'd had affirmations, I would have gone through my affirmations. Well, I would have used my breathing, but I also would have remembered what it was like when I used to talk about, oh yeah, I can just fall asleep anywhere, anytime on a dime and sleep through the night. So that would be an example of using a totem memory. My other favorite totem memory is not that long ago, my husband and I decided to go on a trip to Thailand. It was something that had been on the dream board for us for a very long time. And we decided, okay, it's just time. So for our anniversary, I bought us tickets to go to Thailand as a surprise gift and surprise my husband with a trip to Thailand. And so we went. It was amazing. We had like just such a dreamy trip. It was very romantic and we just felt abundant. We stayed in this beautiful villa. It was totally a VIP experience. And we got tons of deals and stuff. And just like we rock climbed every day. We felt healthy. And at the end of the trip, we're coming home and we had been upgraded to business class. And I went to use the restroom or the washroom. And there I am. I closed the little door, those crazy like airplane tiny toilets. And I went in and I saw myself in the mirror and I was tanned and relaxed and happy. And I just had this feeling like, oh my gosh, like we've done it. Like we did it. Like I'm here. I have my dream job. I'm a best-selling author. I'm tanned. I'm happy. I'm married to the love of my life. I'm abundant. I'm in first class. Like it's all happening. And I just like smiled at myself and like high-fived myself, like so excited. Like we made it. We did it. All the things on the dream board. And so that is one of my totem memories. That is one of my totem memories because it was this moment where I felt all of the feelings that my dreams were coming true, had come true. And so with that, hopefully those affirmation sticking points help. I give you a few today. What I would encourage you to do is with this affirmation, that I feel affirmation, we're working on visioneering. So this is pulling feeling into our I am statements. This is pulling action into our I am statements. And we're going to talk more about action in the next episode. I'm going to help you with some sticking points around taking action. A lot of people who come to me for coaching, this is one of the things they want help with is they're procrastinating or they're not moving forward or they're taking action and the results aren't happening that they have been dreaming for or wanting. So we're going to jump into that, but just make sure that you are doing your affirmations and at very least doing your I am, I feel, and then we can keep adding them as we go. Thanks for listening to Stuck No More with Jennie Potter. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, rate, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps others find the show so they can get unstuck too. And don't forget, you can find my books, Self-Sabotage No More and Stuck No More, on Amazon, Audible, and the other book platforms. Thanks again for listening, and bye for now.